Hi everybody and welcome back to my modeling channel. So today we're gonna build a very old kit that I had in my stash for until I was, for the last I would say 20 maybe 30 years when I was a teenager. So I purchased this kit very long time ago, but anyway, that's an Apache AH-64 scale 172 from Hasegawa. So let's open the box. Of course we're gonna have some surprise, most probably with the decals, as through the years they are unusable. So today I'll work out in some other things. So here is our kit. So we're gonna start it first with the sprue. So the fuselage is the first part. I have to say that all panel lines are very well done. They are very fine engravement, so that's going to be a very enjoyable kit. So we have both sides, and as you can see on the lights, lots of panel lines, but they are all engraved. Here is unfortunately our decals. I don't think they're going to be any good, so I decided to purchase some other aftermarket decals for that kit. And I will do it from the Hellenic Air Force, or the Greek Air Force, as we've been living in Greece for a few years now, so that's going to be a nice tribute for my Greek friends. So now we're going to move on to the third sprue. Basically we have the cockpit, the engine intake, of course the blade for the main rotor, and then part of the cockpit. As you can see, the cockpit has some decals for all the instrument panel, so we will try to use that, but nothing I'm really sure about, so but just in case, we'll give it a try. So then we're going to move on to the weapon system. Basically you have the stabilizer, and then you're going to have those little tiny wings, basically where we're going to fix all the rockets or bombs, the main gun, and some small part. Those ones are pretty basic, I have to say. Nothing too difficult, but yeah, nothing exceptional. So now what we have here is all the clear part for the cockpit. So as you can see, it's a two-part, and we have the options of leaving the aft door eventually open, and that's one of the options we have. So let's move on now to toward the instruction sheet. So this is how it looked like. So as you can see, it's pretty well detailed. We have all the information. You can even add the pilots, which I don't know if they have them on the kit. I haven't checked really, but that's not the main issue here. So we're gonna have this, and then we're gonna be able to build that little kit. Then it comes with two different options for the decals. Both of them are from the US Army, but as I mentioned, I'm going to make it with some from the Greek Air Force. So enough of talking, and let's start building. So we're going to start this build by pre-painting all the interior in light gray color. And I will do this basically from the cockpit and also on the half of the fuselage. And like this, I can already have a preset color for my cockpit. After this, we're gonna start preparing the main rotor. So I will take the 4 blades, assemble them to the 2 lower parts on that rotor, and then we're gonna glue them all together, prepare the parts, and let the rotor dry for a while. Now I will start moving toward the cockpit. So we're gonna prepare all the parts. We're gonna remove them from the sprue and then cut them out at the good dimension, and then we're gonna start slowly our assembly. So initially I will prepare all the different stations. I will do a little bit of cutting for the instrument panel, and of course there will be some more assembly, and then we're gonna add some decals. I have to say that the decals were very old, because as I was mentioning earlier, the kit, I bought the kit when I was a teenager, so it's almost 30 years ago. So of course now the decals are extremely fragile, and I had to work out very carefully, adding some solution, try to restore them, and then work on them. But nevertheless, everything ended up fairly well. So I have to say that I don't have too much to complain about it. It just took a bit of time to renew them and to restore them. After that, of course, we'll prepare some solution. We'll put it on the decals, we'll let it dry, and then we'll be able to process to the full cockpit assembly. The next step is to bring the cockpit inside the fuselage of that Apache. So we're gonna get it ready, and then we're gonna glue it, and then we're gonna close both of the half of the fuselage. We're gonna close them together and let the glue dry out. So once finished, we're gonna remove all the gaps and close the gaps by adding a little bit of Tamiya putty, and I will basically put it all over the fuselage, as there was some small gaps, and then that's gonna be able to help us remove all those little gaps and give a more realistic effect. So while the putty is drying, I'm gonna start working on the air intake of that Apache. So there is the intake, the engine basically, and there will be as well the exhaust. So we're gonna work on those. They are actually in 4 parts. There is the main body, and then we're gonna have the air intake and the exhaust. So we're gonna have to glue all those together. Then of course we'll have to remove some of those gaps and put a little bit of putty. In the meantime, we're gonna close the main plate below the fuselage, and where we have the undercarriage as well, and then we're gonna close all those little gaps on the engines. Now we have a big work ahead of us. We're gonna have to remove all the extra putty on the model, and that's gonna take a little bit of time. So we're gonna remove that under, above, and also on the engine, and then we'll be able to fix them on the model. The next step now is to fix the engine on the Apache and the undercarriage as well. So initially, now we finish that, we're gonna glue the undercarriage, and then we're gonna fix basically the mount for the gun, and then we'll be able to fix the engine directly on the fuselage. Now we're gonna mount the pods, basically where we're gonna put the rockets on those wings, and after that we'll be able to put them directly on the Apache. Now we're gonna close all the gaps on those engine, between the engine and the fuselage, and then we're gonna be able to finish this up and move a little bit further on that build. So after finishing those adjustments, I decided to do a sort of a pre-shading with access panel line before starting painting the helicopter itself. So I did that all over the chopper. That was a test, and but it was not really successful, so I had to do some other stuff later on. But you'll see, and you let me know what you think about it in the comment box. So we're now moving toward the paint job. So I'm gonna apply that olive green color, and I will try to get a thin layer as I had that sort of a pre-shading before, and to give more intensity to the paint. So we'll now start painting the exhaust of the Apache. So for this I will just use a regular paintbrush and some exhaust or steel color from Tamiya. So now I'm gonna start again with the access panel wash from Tamiya. And as you can see, when you're doing some work and some liquid on a matte surface, it has a tendency with the porosity to absorb and to spread all that liquid. So that's not a big issue when you work under the aircraft, as it looks like more or less like a spot, and so it's not that bad for weathering. However, you can't remove the extra wash, so you have to be careful when you apply it. For me, it was okay, it did the job I was expecting, so nothing really too hard to complain about. But that's something to keep in mind. If you want to see all the panel lines and access, you should put initially a clear coat of varnish, then apply the panel lines, and then remove the extra wash. So that's something to keep in consideration. So finishing this, I start to put all the decals. I bought some aftermarket decals for the Greek Air Force, as I have some one of my son's friends is joining the Greek Air Force this summer, so I built a model for him. But the problem, as you can see, the decal were quite fragile. So what I had to do after after the first one broke, I apply on it a clear coat of varnish, and that gives more texture to the decals for the following ones that I had to put. So not a big problem, but think about that when you buy aftermarket decal. Quite often you have to put a clear coat of varnish on those aftermarket decal.